Hi, my name is Isabel. I'm a Nifty producer, and today I'm going to show you 4 ways to transform a basic table. For this table, I upgraded it by adding a few wood slats on top of it. It just gives it a different look and it doesn't make the table look as cheap. The first thing I did was measure out the table, obviously, because I needed to see how many slats I would need for the table. I then sanded down the wooden slats and I stained them. I went ahead and hammered it into the table, inside of the table, so that's what I went with for this table. For the pet table, I recommend using a cheaper table just because you don't want to destroy a beautiful wooden table for this, unless you love them that much. We all should. For this one, it's really easy. Well, no, it wasn't really easy. It was my first time using a Dremel, and that was a little intense because it just kind of went everywhere, and I didn't buy extra tables for this, but that's the magic of editing. So I drew out the circles that were the same size as the pet food bowls that I'd be putting inside. Then I went ahead and used the Dremel to cut the circles out, and there's a little sand attachment that you could use to sand out the sides so that it's nice and clean. If you don't have a Dremel tool, it's gonna be a little bit more difficult because you're gonna have to use a saw. Then I went ahead and put the bowls in and I decorated it using just like a regular paint pen. And that was just to add a little bit of personality to the table to make it more like doggy-esque. On the side of the table, I decided to add a little basket and you just put it on the side using some L-hooks. I thought that would be a nice addition. You could store a few of your dog's things in that one place so that you don't have to worry about losing things. For this next one, I went ahead and transformed a small table into a chair. And you could use this chair for a child's room. All you have to do is buy a piece of foam and cut it to the size of your table. Luckily, I was able to find one that fit perfectly to the square, but this could work for a rectangular table or anything. Then what I did was I sprayed the table down with a spray adhesive, and you just stick it directly on. And because the spray adhesive is so sticky, like right when you put your hands on it or anything on it, you cannot move it. So just make sure you land it down perfectly the first time because there is no other try. It's gonna be rough. Then what I went ahead and did was cut a piece of fabric a little bit longer on each side than the table and the foam padding would be, and I wrapped it around and I stapled it down on the other side. I also folded in the edges just so that it was like nice and clean on the sides and you don't have any like extra fabric hanging on the sides of the corners because that doesn't look too nice. Oh, I forgot to mention that I removed the legs. I removed the legs of the table. Oh. So you remove the legs of the table. Just remember to remove the legs of the table at the very beginning. This will make it way easier. The bar cart was a really fun project, but it was also a little bit tougher because I wish I did steps a little bit differently. For this DIY, you're going to need 2 tables that are the same exact size that you can stack on top of each other. The first step is that you want to cover both of your tables with contact paper. This is totally optional. One trick that I use is I take a ruler to smoothen it out as I move along the contact paper. If you have any air bubbles left in, go ahead and poke them out with a tiny needle and just smoothen it out over again with the ruler. The next step that you want to do is add a towel rack to the side of your table. This is going to be the table that's going to be stacked on top for the bar cart. After this, what I did was I drilled wheels into the table that would be sitting on the bottom half of the bar cart. I regret doing this because I wish that I hadn't put the wheels on because it would have made the next portion a little bit easier. So I would say put the wheels at the very end. Then what I did was I stacked the top table with the towel rack on top of the table with the wheels, and I connected them using corner brackets, and I put those on all 4 legs of the table that were connecting the 2 tables. A lot of people were scared that I was gonna drill into my hand in this one because I had it sitting right on the back, but I promise you I knew I wouldn't because the drill bit wasn't long enough to make it through the leg of the table, so I lived. After that, you could go ahead and roll this table all over the place. I had a lot of fun with it. You don't even have to use it as a bar cart. You could use it if you have a small kitchen and you need extra space. It's a really great table and it's probably my favorite project from this video.